Okay, what's up? Just notes on this. Today you're going to find where the lines cross without actually having to graph it, the xy solution. So you have 4x plus 3y equals 14, y equals 2x minus 3. Okay, so here's the way you're going to learn today. Set up that coordinate, and you're like, well, how am I going to know it? I don't have a graph. You don't need it, okay? Now, here's what we're doing today. Put a wall on each side of the equals. It doesn't matter what, okay? Or actually, sorry, that didn't mean, just on the left side, okay? Just on the left side. Just on the left side. Put a wall on that side. Which one of those equations has a letter by itself? Now, it can be x or y. It doesn't matter. So it has to be y when you graph, but we're not graphing. So it could be x or it could be y. Right there is where I have the y all by itself. Now you want to put a box around that, and that's known as your base variable. Okay? Now that can be x or y. Okay? Now what you want to do after you've labeled the base is circle the other side. Okay? That's important that you do that. Now write the other equation over here. Just copy it down. 4x plus 3y equals 14. Okay. Now here's what we're going to do. Whatever the base letter is, the base variable, you parenthesize that letter. Okay. Now you cross it out, and above the parentheses you put what's on the other side, which is the expression 2x minus 3. Okay. So whatever the base letter is gets a parentheses, and you cross it out and put 2x minus 3 above it. Now, write out your new equation. You have 4, you have x, you have plus, you have 3. Now you make the parentheses, and in the parentheses you put the 2x minus 3. Then after you close the parentheses, you have equals, and you have 14. Now I can solve for x because I have an x here and an x here. Okay, the y's out. So again, and the reason you can put that in for y is because if y equals that, then you just replace y with 2x minus 3. Now we're going to solve for x. Okay, so plus negative. I apply the distributive property. Okay, when you get your new equation, minus, this should go plus negative. From the 3, so we got 3 times 2x, and then times negative 3, so that's 6x, and then negative 9, okay? So equals, drop your 14, and drop the plus sign from the parentheses, and then you put 6x and negative 9. Then you cross that out, and then you have to still add the 4x, okay? Now the x's are on the same side, so if they're on the same side, you need to combine them with the v. Okay, don't be taking out the smaller one. So that's going to make 10x plus negative 9 equals 14. Make your wall now, because you have just a single x. Okay, so dot circle, take out your negative 9 by adding 9. That would take that to 23. And then I divide each side by 10. And I have my answer for x. Okay. Now I get a decimal here, and I'm going to be getting decimals. You just got to roll up it. So x is 2.3. So put that under the x. Now how are we going to find y? Well, here's how. Use your base equation. Just write it down. Just copy that base equation down. The reason why we want to use that one and not the other one is because I have to find y. So we want to use the one where the y is by itself. Okay. Now replace your x, please, with your answer. 2.3 goes in for x. Okay. And we have y equals 2 times 2.3 minus 3. And your y is all by itself, okay? So you can just punch that into your calculator. It's all, I mean, the y variables are all on one side, so the other side I just punch in 2 times 2.3 minus 3, I got 1.6. Okay, next problem. 5x plus 6y equals 8, x equals negative 3y minus 7. So, you look where you have a letter by itself. It can be x or y, it does not have to be y. Well, I have an x here, so box it up. Now x is the base and circle the other side. Now write your other equation. 5x, the non-base equation, 5x plus 6y equals 8. Now, what's the base letter? The base letter's x, so now you go to x and parenthesize it. Cross it out, and you put over the top negative 3y minus 7. Whatever the x equals goes above where the x used to be. So you got a 5, then you have your parentheses, and in the parentheses you put the expression negative 3y minus 7, you close it. Now after the parentheses is closed, you have a plus, you have a 6y, you have an equals 8, okay? So you see 5, you put 5, then your parentheses, and after you close a parentheses, you keep on writing the crap down, okay? Now, I'm not a fan of minuses. Go plus negative if you want to on the 3. You might not have to on the 3, but you need to on the 7 because you should have a plus sign in the middle of the parentheses because you need to distribute across the plus. 5 to negative 3y, 5 to negative 7. Times negative 3y times negative 7. So that gives me negative 15y and then negative 35. So drop your plus straight down from the parentheses and you have negative 15y, negative 35. Now you cross that out and you still have to add the 6y. And then you have 8 on the other side. Now you're solving for y. Okay, you're solving for y. So the y's are on the same side, they are combined into 1, okay, by adding. So you take negative 15 plus 6, it's negative 9. You treat y's like you do x's, then you add the negative 35, and then you solve it, okay. So this is a crap I have to get rid of. We get rid of the plus number first. It's negative, so you'd add it. So negative 9 times y, and then 8 plus 35 is 43. Now divide by negative 9. And also that rule where you have to have a positive in front of the y, that's out. That's a graphing thing, okay? 43 divided by... I got that, I don't care. I'm going to write negative, just put one decimal place. Either put negative 4.7 or negative 4.8. Okay, I don't care. I'll put 4.8. If you put negative 4.7, that's fine. Just do the problem right. Now find the x. Well, let's use the one that's got the x by itself. And this goes in for y. So parenthesize y, scribble it out, and put your answer in its place. Okay. So you have x equals negative 3 times negative 4.8 minus 7. The x is by itself, so I get to just go to my calculator and find its answer. Okay. 7.4. Now you would get something different if you did negative 4.7. I don't really care. Okay, but so I'm getting decimals. That's fine. Okay, next one. You got to stick with it. Okay, x equals 2y plus 1, 7x minus 2y equals 1. Looking for a base variable that could be x or y. It's got to be all by itself right there. Boom. The base is the x this time. Sometimes it's the x, sometimes it's the y. Okay, now write the other one. 7x minus 2y equals 1. Now if x is the base letter, the x is where I put the parentheses. Okay, and above it you put 2y plus 1. Now you need to write the equation. So you have 7, then I put a parentheses with 2y plus 1 inside. Now after the parentheses you have a minus, you have 2y, you have equals 1. Now at this point in the problem, if we have a minus, we need to make that a plus negative. Okay, so now I have a y and a y. Distribute your 7 across the plus, not to here, just in the parentheses. So that is 14y and that is 7. So drop your plus, you have 14y and 7. Then you add the negative 2y before you put 1. Okay. Alright, you're solving for y's. They're on the same. By the way, you know you did it wrong if you have a y and an x at this point. You have to have matching letters, either both y or both x. We have y and y, so we're good. If you have a y and an x, you screwed it up. Okay. So I combine because they're on the same side. We don't get rid of the smaller one if they're on the same side. Okay. Taking out the smaller ones, what we do when they're on opposite sides. So that's going to be 12y and then plus 7. Wall dot circle. Minus 7, 12 times y. 1 minus 7 is negative 6. Then we divide each side of the equation by 12. The answer is not 2. Okay? Because you're taking the negative 6 divided by the 12, which is negative 0.5. So you see I'm not freaking out if I get decimals. Okay? You can get them. Now you got to find the other letter. Remember to put that in the right slot. It says y equals that, so you put it under y. Now to find the x, use the base equation because that's the one that's got the x all by itself. And put that answer in for y. Okay. So now what do we have? We have 2 times negative 0.5 plus 1. And x is all by itself, so I can just plug it in. 2 times negative 0.5 plus 1 is 0. Fine, I got 0. Do I care? No. You can have 0 on a graph. Okay. Okay, y equals 2x minus 1, 4x plus 2y equals 12. What letter do we have all by itself right there? It's y this time. Okay, it can be y or x. Remember, it doesn't have to be y. That's when I graph. Okay. Okay, now I write the other equation. 4x. I write it kind of big, as you can see. Now, what's the base letter? What is the base letter? The base letter is y, so the parentheses goes to the y. Whatever the base letter is where the parentheses goes. Okay? If you put it in for the wrong letter, you're in a heap of trouble. And then you put 2x minus 1 above it, because that's what y equals. So we have 4. We have x, we have plus, then we have the 2, then we have the parentheses where I put 2x minus 1 in there. After the parentheses has closed, we have equals 12. Okay, so we have to solve for x, okay? So we have to get rid of this parentheses, make that minus a plus negative at that point, at this point in the problem. So take that 2 times 2x times negative 1. So 4x negative 2. So line up your equals, you drop your plus down. 4x negative 2. Cross that out and you have to add the 4x from there. Okay, there's another x term, so you add it. Same thing, combine your x's because they're on the same side. So that's 8x plus negative 2, wall, dot, circle now. Take out your negative 2 by adding 2. That takes us to 14. Then divide each side by 8. Now it's x that we have. You got to have keep track of the right variable. 1.75. Okay, now we have to find the other letter. Well, we have to find y, so use the one that's got the y by itself, the base equation. Just copy that down, okay, and have 1.75 go in for x. You don't need x there anymore, 1.75. So y equals 2 times 1.75 minus 1. And now the y is by itself, so I don't really have to do anything except plug it into my calculator. 2.5. Okay, moving along. The staple got in the way. Here's what that equation said. Y equals x plus 1. Just write it down below. Okay. Here's my next point. Okay. You don't have a letter by itself there, okay, but you have one here, the y. The y is the base. It's equal to x plus 1. Write the other equation, but while you're doing that, you're going to want to put a 1 in front of the y. You're going to want a number in front of both of your letters, okay, in the non-base. So what's the base letter? The base letter's y, so the parentheses goes to y. And we put x plus 1. So we have 2x plus 1 from the outside, and then in the parentheses we put x plus 1. Close the parentheses, and after that's closed it equals 10. Okay. Now put a 1 in front of that x so you can see what you're distributing. The 1 to 1x and the 1 to 2. Or excuse me, my bad, 1 to 1x, 1 to 1. I'm sorry, I screwed that up. 1x and 1. So drop that plus straight down, put 1x and 1. Now you got to add the 2x that was there. Now I can solve for x. Remember, the letters are the same. They can be x's or y's, but they have to be the same. Okay. You can't solve if there's an x and a y. Okay. So that's going to be 3x plus 1 equals 10. Wall, dot, circle, minus your 1, that's 9. Divide by 3. So I got 3. What letter did I get to be 3? I got x, so put it in the x slot. Now find the y using the equation that's got the y by itself. Okay, so I put in 3. It's going to be no times because wasn't a number in front of x. Don't put the 1 there on this part, okay? I mean, come on, 3 plus 1 is 4, okay? So 3 and 4. That's where they would cross. First one I didn't get a decimal on. Okay, x plus 4y equals 1, y equals x plus 4. Find a base letter. Not there, you won't find it. I think here you will. Y is my base. Write the other one. Put a 1 in front of the x though while you're doing it. Those letters in the non-base equation, those letters should be covered. Okay. If it's naked x, put a 1. Okay. Now, y is the base. The parentheses goes to y. x plus 4. So 1x plus 4 parentheses x plus 4. Close the parentheses, and after that you have equals 1. Okay, so right there is the multiplier to the parentheses. You already have a plus. So 4 to 1x, 4 to 4. Okay. Again, that plus sign shows you what to multiply by. So 4x and 16. So drop your plus, 4x, 16. Don't forget to add the 1x. Okay. So we're combining our x's because they're on the same side of the equals, and that combines into 5x plus 16 equals 1. Wall, dot, circle. Take out the plus 16 with a minus 16. 5 times x equals negative 15. Then you divide by 5, and x equals negative 3. X is negative 3. Put it under the right letter. Okay. Now find your y. Y. Let's use the one where the y is by itself. It's easier that way. If you put it into there, it's harder. Okay, you can, but you don't want to. So parenthesize your x, scribble it out, and put negative 3. Negative 3 plus 4. Then you just do the operations. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1. If you're on a number line, you're at negative 3, move forward 4, you get 1. Okay, last two problems. 2x plus 2y equals 38, y equals x plus 3. What's your base? Right there, it's y. Y can be the base or x, whatever one's by itself. Now write the other one. Replace your base. Remember, whatever the base is, the parentheses goes to that. And then in for the base, we substitute x plus 3. So you got 2, you got x, you got plus, you got 2. Now you have your parentheses, x plus 3, close it. And after it's closed, we have equals 28. Okay, now we're going to solve for x first. Sometimes you solve for x, sometimes you solve for y. It all depends on how it lines up. Okay, so we distribute the 2 to the 1x and the 2 to the 3. So it's 2x and 6. Drop the plus, 2x, 6. And you have the 2x at the beginning. So you combine your x's by adding, and that's 4x plus the 6 equals a 28. Okay. Or sorry, that was 38. My bad. I'm sorry, I put the wrong number. Just switch it to 38. Okay. Okay. Then dot, circle. Minus 6, minus 6. 38 minus 6 is 32. Divide by 4, and x equals 8. Okay, now I solve for y. Use the one that's got the y by itself. Okay. On one side. Parenthesize your x, scribble it out, and put 8. So y equals 8 plus 3. I don't have any need for a dot. 8 plus 3 is 11. Okay, then our last problem. X equals y plus 3. 2x plus 4y equals 18. The letter we have by itself is x. That is the base. The other side is what it's equal. So write the non-base. 2x plus 4y equals 18. Since x is the base, now the parentheses goes to the x. And we take the x out and replace it with y plus 3. So we have a 2. Now we put our parentheses with y plus 3 inside. After the parentheses has been closed, we have plus 4y equals 18. So you're basically rewriting that with that in a parentheses. All the rest of it stays the same. Okay, 1, there's your circle. So distribute your 2. So times 2, 2 to 1y, and then to 3. Okay, so I will drop my plus 2y, 6. Add the 4y, and then equal the 18. Okay, you're solving for y now. Y's on the same side together get added, and that's 6y plus 6 equals 18. Minus 6 minus 6, that's 12. Divide by 6, divide by 6, y. You got to keep track of the right letter. Y equals 2. I know you're used to doing x, but you got to get in the habit of y as well. Okay, so y equals 2. We put 2 in for y. Now you're solving for x. Okay. So use the one that's got the x by itself. So put your 2 in for y. So x is equal to 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 is 5 last time I checked. Okay, continue that.